Hi, all. Welcome another week of yoga with Tiffany. So, grab 2 blocks. Feel free if you need a belt to grab a belt. Also, I want to remind you that I have music on Spotify. So, if you go to my Spotify account, go ahead and just find my playlist and play whatever yoga track you want. It's just to fill the space. Sometimes some of us need a little bit of music in order to keep ourselves present, others not. For joining me on the mat, let's go ahead and start in child's pose. So what I want you to do is either keep your knees together or take them wide, whatever feels best for you. But your hands are going to come behind your back and just tip forward. And as you do this, I'm just turning my head sideways so you can hear me. But you want to rest your forehead on the mat. Let your arms go heavy and your shoulders roll over your knees. And as you're here, just close your eyes and see how the body is feeling. Do you need to come out of this pose and tip forward into your forearms to give your hips and knees a little more comfort? Or do you need to take your knees wider as you settle into this space a little bit more? And as you relax here, I just want you to bring your awareness into this present moment. Feel your shins connecting you to the earth, your forehead connected to the mat. Feel the heaviness of the arms as they rest behind you. And just take this time to settle into this space. Notice the breath moving through the body. And then begin to take that breath deeper as you feel your back body rise to the sky and release back down. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, let it out. Imagine there's a cape on your back. And when you inhale deep, the cape is rising. And as you exhale, it drapes back over the body. Notice how your hips and knees are feeling. Do you need to make any adjustments? As you're taking these deep breaths, still stay in child's pose. I lift up just a little bit so you can hear me. Let's take that first Om. Inhale nice and deep. Om. In this practice today, I invite you at any time to let the breath out of the mouth if you need to find a little more release, a little more ease. And as you relax here, each month I have a theme for you. And so this month, I found a quote by Les Brown. You tell yourself no matter how hard it is or how hard it gets, I'm going to make it. And for us at this time, in this strange time of home quarantine, we've come into this place in our lives that on some days it may feel harder than others. But we are all in this together. But we are going to get through this. And so tell yourself, I am going to make it. Take another nice deep breath here. Exhale, sigh it out. On an inhale, rise up onto those knees and do a little stretch back. Press the palms together. Exhale, lower back down into child's pose, but this time reaching the arms forward. And stretch as far forward as you can. Nice big reach. And then on an inhale, use your core and glutes and pull yourself back up onto those shins, high on those knees, lifting up. And exhale, come back down. Reaching nice and long. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, rise up. But when you exhale this time, open the elbows, pull the ribs in and squeeze your shoulder blades in and back. Rise the arms back up on an inhale. And exhale, sink back into child's pose, reaching long, Balasana. And as we reach nice and long, I want you to start to walk your hands to the left side of your mat. So walking over to the left side, a nice big stretch through the right side of the body. Let the head and neck relax. Inhale, come back to center. Walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. As far as you can go, and feel like your left ribs are pulling to that right thigh. Inhale, walk the hands back to the center of the mat and start to rise up into table, hips over knees, and then move your hands underneath your shoulders. So we find this alignment, shoulders stacked over wrists, hips stacked over knees. Let's take a few rounds through cat and cow. Exhale, round the back into cat. Inhale, arch the back into cow. So when you exhale round, pull your belly button to the sky. When you inhale to arch, draw your belly button to the floor. Try not to shrug the shoulders. Push your hands into the earth, keeping those arms long and strong. And let's do 2 more. We come back into that neutral spine of table, and I want you to take your right toes to the back of your mat and drop back into a calf stretch. So push back into that right heel. Still staying strong in the arms. Then when you shift your weight over your wrist, go ahead and lift that right leg up, prepping for spinal balance, and extend the left arm out nice and strong. On an exhale, let's move into cat dance. Tuck the elbow and knee in. Inhale, reach out long. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, reach. Whether you're pointing the toe or flexing the foot, keep that dynamic tension, muscle pressing into bone for 2 more. Reaching out nice and long, then return the hand and knee to the earth. Take the left foot to the back of your mat, toes are down, and then drop back into that calf stretch. Nice big stretch here, push the floor away. Careful of shrugging your shoulders. Lift your chest up. As you shift back over your wrist, draw the left leg up and take the right arm out. And again, we move into cat dance. Exhale, come in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, reach. We have 2 more just like this. Coming into that hold of balance, then release the hand and knee to the earth. And remember, if you're pregnant and we're lowering onto our stomachs, you're more than welcome to come into that spinal balance. Let's float back again to child's pose, hips towards heels, and reach the arms out nice and long, Utthita Balasana. And let's work our way into this 8-point press. So inhale forward to kneeling plank, turn the toes under. So from here, slowly start to bend the elbows and bring your chest and chin to the mat. Hips are up in the air. Inhale, press back up. Keep those toes turned under. And exhale, hinge back to your child's pose. Again, inhale forward, chest over thumbs. Exhale, bring your chest and chin to the mat. These 8-point press push-ups. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, float back. If this is too much for you to take this deep back movement, go ahead and come forward into kneeling plank and just lower to that half crocodile. But the rest of us will lower our chest and chin to the mat. Chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Inhale, press up. Exhale, release. Moving on, first come forward into kneeling plank. Lowering into that 8-point press. Release the toes, and as you release your hips, scoop into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Lift up into kneeling plank, press back into child's pose, toes turned under. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale forward to kneeling plank. Exhale, chest and chin to the mat. 8-point press. Release the toes and hips as you scoop the heart through to Cobra. Bhujangasana. 1 more time. Press up into kneeling plank. Float back, hips to heels. And here we go. Inhale, forward to kneeling plank. Exhale, 8-point press. Release and lift into cobra. Exhale, back into child's pose. Take a nice big inhale here. Open the mouth to let it out. So start to shift your weight forward to your hands, but only halfway. And as you look to your knees, float them off the mat and start to lift your hips to the sky, entering into down dog. Let your heels relax. Feel your shoulder blades spread away from one another, but press firm into the thumb and index finger. Now holding here, pedaling the heels. So understand that down dog or child's pose are an active rest, and I invite you to come into those poses at any time throughout the practice. Inhale, lift and look to your thumbs and step the feet forward to your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingers can go to shins as you flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's all rise to the sky and bring the hands to the heart, gaze to the fingertips for a moment. What is it that brought you on the mat today? What are you looking for in your practice? Always be mindful of breath and movement and how the body is feeling. Doing what feels best for you. As we move through our sun salutations, this will be the fastest part, and so we'll slow down after this. On an inhale, rise to the sun. As you exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend knees for that kneeling lunge. Take a big step back with that right knee and look forward. So open your heart away from the body. Release into kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Exhale to child's pose. This is going to get familiar. Inhale forward to kneeling plank, setting up for 8-point press. Exhale, 8-point press, chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale the right foot forward. Open the heart towards those toes, towards the side. Shine your heart away from the body is what I'm trying to say. Step into fold. Inhale, rise up to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Send that left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Send the right knee back to kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Float into child's pose. Come forward into kneeling plank. Exhale, chest and chin to the mat, 8-point press. Hug those elbows in and up to the sky. Scoop to cobra, hips down, elbows stay bent. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale the left foot forward to that kneeling lunge. Shine your heart forward. Big stretches. Then exhale into your fold. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to the sun. Exhale, fold to the earth. Halfway lift, then fold. From here, inhale, send your right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Look forward. Offer your heart away from your tailbone. Step into plank. Look 2 to 3 feet forward of your fingers. Lengthen the body. Lift the hips to the sky to down dog or go into child's pose. We're still going to enter that 8-point press. So inhale forward to kneeling plank. Exhale, 8-point press. Chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Inhale, scoop, up dog or cobra, what feels best for you. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. Inhale, the right foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Lift your heart. Exhale, step into fold. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart. Breath with movement, rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send that left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Then step the right foot back to plank. Look forward of your fingers, lengthen the body. Come into down dog or child's pose. Inhale forward to kneeling plank, setting up for 8-point press. Exhale, chest and chin to the mat. Chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Inhale, scoop, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. Float the left foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Draw the right foot into fold. Rise to the sun. Hands lower to heart. Again, rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift. And fold. Send right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. You decide what you need. Step left foot back to plank or kneeling. This is your practice. Be that student of your body. Float into down dog or child's pose. Draw forward to the hands for that kneeling plank and exhale to the mat, 8-point press. Scoop the heart through to up dog or cobra. Float into down dog or child's pose. Draw the right foot towards the hands, lunge or kneeling. Left foot in as you fold. Rise to the sun. Hands lower to heart. Rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift. And fold. Send that left foot or knee back, lunge or kneeling. Right foot back, plank or kneeling. You decide. Down dog or child's pose. Forward to kneeling plank, to then lower 8-point press. Scoop to the sun. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Draw the left foot towards the hands for lunge or kneeling. Right foot in as you fold. Rise to the sky. Hands to heart. This last round is on your own, and I want you to find the pose that works best for you. But move with your breath. So we inhale to start. If you're not sure what to do, just make something up or keep watching. And it's okay if you're not on the same count as me. It's not the point. I just want you to be present with your own body and not focusing on me. What can you let go of that you are holding on to in this space? When you get back to the top of the mat, you have that left side. What are you feeling in the body that you need to create change for? Is there some stress or tension you're holding in any parts of the body? And allow yourself to find ease through modifications of poses or just taking a variation that you know can work for you. And if you're not sure, take down dog or child's pose. We'll arrive back at the top of the mat. Take a moment, close the eyes. See what the body needs from this point forward. We've heated up the body, we've created this internal heat, and so now noticing what the body can do with this internal heat. Let's go ahead and inhale to sit in chair pose, Utkatasana. Looking straight ahead to keep the heart lifted, but sending the weight into the heels. And as we bring the hands into the heart, let's peel the left heel off the mat. Making our way into eagle, we can pick the leg up and wrap it over the thigh. We can bring the big toe to the floor. Some of you may have a block and you want to bring that left foot onto the block like a kickstand. And others may choose to bind at the ankle. Bring the right elbow under left, either hug shoulders or wrap hands. Sitting again into that left heel. Finding something to gaze at. Let's open up into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, opening those hips and shoulders, softening the arms away from the ears. Take an inhale into Reverse Warrior. And an exhale into Side Angle. Nice big stretch here. And let's put these two poses together and flow. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side. Take this 3 more times, grounding down through the soles of the feet, feeling the energy draw up towards your hips and then out the top of the head. Come into side angle for a moment and either stay here or let the hand release a little deeper. Take a step into down dog. Take a pause. Floating your right foot off the earth. Let's meet in a lunge, sending that right foot forward. Keep the left heel off the mat. I want you to think of cat and cow here. So either you're on your fingertips or you're going to need your blocks to bring the floor closer. The other option is to take your knee to the mat. Your blocks have 3 different levels, vertical, horizontal, or flat. But what I want you to do is either be perched up on your fingertips, give a little arch like you're going into cow, and then exhale, cat. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Lengthen the back. And from here, step into down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Sometimes we may need to pedal those heels. We put a lot of pressure in that quad and hamstring. But for some of us, I'm going to have you either walk your hands back just a little bit or leave your grip where it's at. But look over to your right thigh or shin and take that left hand there, coming into twisting dog. Either stay looking to your hand or take your gaze up underneath the right arm. Not comfortable doing this, stay in down dog. Let's release the hand. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower crocodile. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, hinge back to your down dog. On your next inhale, look to thumbs. Make your way into forward fold. Now again, if you want to use the block for eagle, take it outside your left foot now. But as you inhale, rise up, stand tall. Exhale to sit in chair. You should be able to, let me move my blocks, flutter your toes so the weight is in your heels. Bring the hands into the heart. Peel the right heel, setting up for Garudasana, eagle. Take that right thigh over the left. Remember, Garuda is our character who has the upper body of an eagle, the lower body of a man. And he had 3 different tasks to complete. So let's make our body smaller because for one of his tasks, he had to make his body smaller. So we can either stay here with the toe on the floor, touching the calf or wrapping around. Then we bring our left elbow under the right, hug shoulders or wrap hands. Pull everything into the center. Breathe through each challenge, each pose. Releasing into Warrior 2, send that right foot back, open hips and shoulders. Watch the hips, sometimes they want to go sassy. Keep that right hip under the body. Take your inhale into Reverse Warrior. Your exhale into Side Angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side. Notice the hips aren't moving. It is just from belly button to shoulder. Give me 2 more like this. Now come into that reverse warrior. And then make your way into side angle Parsvottanasana, or go deeper into your side angle. Release and step into your down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a moment here. Maybe even pedal out the heels. We can stay here, or we're going to float that left foot off the earth and sweep it to the hands to come into a lunge. Again, grab your blocks, but make sure your hands or your blocks are framing your foot. Inhale, arch, like cat and cow. Exhale, round. Our legs aren't moving. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Come back into this lengthening of the spine, your low lunge, and step into down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So either stay here, move your hands back, one hand print if you need a little more stability. Otherwise, look at your left leg. Take your right hand over to the left leg, whether it's up on the thigh, on the calf, or at the ankle. Stay strong in the left arm. Look to your right hand or look up to the sky. And your balance gets challenged here. But you've got this. It's not what you can't do, it's about what you can do. Release and come forward into plank. Lower crocodile. Lift up dog. Hinge back. Hold in your down dog. Take a moment here, shake the head, yes, and no. Float your right foot off the earth, and let's make our way into a prep work of pyramid pose. Bring the right foot forward like you're lunging, but then straighten the leg. Our left heel is high off the ground. This next movement is going to be a little vinyasa, one breath, one move. Maybe you need your blocks because you're going to bend this back knee. Maybe you're going to stay up on your fingertips. The right leg doesn't bend. Bend the knee and straighten. Stay high on that ball of the foot, of this left foot. Bend the knee and straighten. 2 more. Bend and straighten. 1 more. Bend and straighten. As you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, soften your left heel, not to touch the floor, just to a stretch, and release towards that shin. Flip the heel down, and from here, peel open into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Whether you come up onto your thigh, your shin, or you stay with your hand towards the earth or a block. But look up to that left hand, straight ahead or down to your big toe. Release back into that low lunge. And from here, step into forward fold. Inhale, rise up to the sky. And as you do this, kick your left heel towards your glute and reach back with that left hand. I want you to push your hip forward and pull your knee down to the earth. If you can get your right hand around to hold the left leg, but pull the elbows back and lift the heart up. And you may feel a little wiggly and wobbly here. Maybe your foot is further away, or you're holding back like you're holding a beach ball and you're kicking your heel. So all of our flexibility is going to be different. But as we make our way into Warrior 3, kick your left foot back. Keep your hands outside your thigh. Some of you, though, may need to transfer your hand onto your thigh. Otherwise, hold back here. Release into crescent or high lunge. Float your knee to the mat and take a stretch over to the right. Hand may touch or go to your hip. Inhale, rise up. Lift back up into crescent or high lunge. Lower down. Release the right arm down for a side stretch. Hug this right hip in and back. Come back up. Lift up. 2 more times. Lower down. Side stretch. Come up and lift. 1 more time. Lower down, side stretch, up, and lift the knee. Release into plank. Either stay in plank or take your chaturanga. Lower to crocodile, lift up dog, hinge back, hold down dog. Inhale nice and deep. Open, let it out. Take a moment here, shake the head. Yes and no. Now let's pick that left leg up off the earth for that pyramid work. Bring it forward like you're going into a lunge. Remember, the back heel stays up. We're on our fingertips, but we're going to use the blocks, creating the floor to come higher. Then straighten both legs. Keep your right heel high off the ground. Then exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Just that back knee bends. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Left foot is sealed to the mat. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. One more. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Now inhale, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, relax your right heel for a stretch and fold towards that shin. The right heel is not folding to the floor. It's still staying off the mat. We're just releasing. Hugging that left hip in and back. Floating into Trikonasana, triangle. Release the right heel and open the body. Maybe you have to move up onto your shin or your thigh to open the body. But where does the stretch take you today? Spin the left side of your ribs and heart to the sky. Release into a low lunge, but step into forward fold. Rise to the sun, and as you bring that knee up, kick the heel back, reach back for this quad stretch. But your right hip is pushing forward, but your knee draws down to the earth. If you can reach the left arm behind, try to bend the elbows and lift your heart. It's not about where my leg goes and you comparing yourself to me. It's where the body goes for you today. As we move into Warrior 3, push the right leg out behind, hold the arms back. Both hips and our shoulders should be aiming to the earth. Virabhadrasana 3. Release into crescent or high lunge. Are you ready for this little flow? Slowly lower the knee. Stretch over to the side. If you can't reach the floor, it doesn't matter. You can go to your hip or you can lightly reach. Come back up. Lift the knee. Crescent or high lunge. Then lower down to kneeling. Stretch to the side. Come back up. 2 more times. Lift up. Lower. Side stretch. Up and lift. Lower. Side stretch. Up and lift. Release to plank. And either hold here or lower to crocodile. Lift up dog. Hinge back. Hold down dog. Take a moment here. Shake the head. Yes and no. Inhale nice and deep. Open the mouth, let it out. Let's float our right foot off the earth and step it outside our right hand. Keeping your heel up, we're going to take a different variation of a lunge. But now walk your hands over to the left side of your mat and just hold here. Both heels pushing, one into the earth, one to the edge of your mat. As you walk your hands back in, release into lizard, sending the knee down, dropping the hips deeper. For some of us, maybe it gives us more ease to use the blocks or block under the hand. And for others, it's coming down onto the elbows using the blocks or no blocks, but equal pressure into both arms. Remember, our pose this month is our elephant trunk pose, or Ekahasta Bhujasana, which means one leg over arm pose. So we need this deep stretch. And then as you rise up, let's take a twist, taking the hand onto the thigh, spinning the ribs, looking over the shoulder. As you hold here, turn your back toes under if they're not already there, and lift your knee off the mat. really hold this rotation. Push into the side, spin your ribs. As you release the hand, rise up into that hip opener. And then make your way into pigeon, knee to the right, foot to the left. Releasing knees, unlock toes. Lift up onto your fingertips. And then exhale, fold down to the earth. Whether you stop on your forearms or you completely fold, what I want you to be mindful of is you're not dumping into that right hip. Keep your hips in the center of the mat. Again, if you need to fill the space, take your block underneath your sit bone. But relax. Let your hips go heavy, your head and neck soften. On your next inhale, rise up. As you sit to the side, bring the legs around. And I want you to lay all the way back for your bridge work. And we're going to add a little core work in here too. So we need that core power for this arm balance. But let's lay back. You should be able to tickle your heels. Just a little slight graze of the middle fingers, shoulder blades tucked slightly, chin parallel to the mat. Remembering we stop on the shoulder blades, not the back of the head or neck. So inhale, lift your hips and hold. Walk your shoulders deeper under the body for some of you and hug or interlace the fingers. Draw your knees towards your toes. Two more breaths. Release the arms and then release the hips. This time, we're going to take this bridge flow a little different. In the past, I have you working your arms opposite. This time, they're not. Inhale, lift the hips, bring the arms over the head. Exhale, crunch up. Inhale, lift hips. Exhale, crunch and reach to the shins. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Two more, lift. And crunch. Lift. And hold your crunch. From your crunch, lift your shins. Rock up into boat. Reach to the heels. Push your heels away as if you're putting footprints on the mirrors. And then half boat, tipping back. Bring your feet down. Now this is important. As you bring your feet down, they should be flat. And I'm going to face you. Your knees are open. You're trying to pull yourself through and come back down. If that does not work, push on your hands, lift up, come down. So either you're going to pull through and balance on your toes, toe balance, then you're going to open and come back down into boat, half, and then pull up, toe balance. You're like, my knees won't let me do that. Okay, so let's take an option. We come here, we lift, we go into boat. We lift, we go into boat. So it's not what you can't do. Ready? We're going to do 4 of these. Pull through, toe balance. Come back down, boat pose. Pull through, toe balance. Come back down, boat pose. Pull through, toe balance. Shoulders down, right? And come back down, boat. One more. Pull through, toe balance. Come back down, hold boat. Then give me a chaturanga. Right? Come into plank and either stay here or lower to crocodile. Lift up dog. Hinge back. Hold down dog. Take a moment. Shake the head. Yes and no. Lift the left foot off the earth. Coming into that lizard prep work, but we're going to stay in this lizard lunge. Right? So our foot is outside our hand. Our back heel aims. Angle off to the right side of your mat. Hips stay high. Feel pressure into both heels. Walk your hands back in. Lower the knee now for that traditional lizard. Drop your hips. Use your blocks if you need them. Keep pushing into the big toe mound. Keep hugging the knee in. Either stay here or lower down onto your forearms. Head and neck releases. Equal pressure. I know you're probably leaning heavier into the right. Push strong into the left. One more breath here. If you're on your elbows or forearms, rise up onto your hands. Let's work the twist. Bring the left hand to the thigh. Spin your ribs towards your thigh. Stay here or pick up that knee. Still twisting like you're bringing your body out like it's a sponge. When you're ready, release into three-legged, bringing that leg back up to the sky. Flex the foot, bend the knee, let the hip roll open, and let's meet in pigeon, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, one leg pigeon pose. Inhale up onto those fingertips. Exhale, fold to the earth. I only come halfway down so you can hear me. Others, you're welcome to come all the way down. I just don't want my voice to be muffled while I'm trying to instruct. So if you need to take the block under that sit bone, there's nothing wrong with bringing the floor closer to you. Find that ease in your practice. Let your head go soft, hips go heavy. One more deep breath here. Slowly start to rise up. Sit to the side, bring those legs around, and grab your blocks. So the last movement we did was in order to build more strength through the core, but let's take this little focus for the back body. The reason I asked you to grab your blocks is some of you may need your blocks behind you for reverse table, where we lean into the hands and we're going to press our hips up. Others, you won't need the blocks, so you're just going to keep them off to the side for later use in our arm balance. But I want you to feel the power of your arms and the back body support you. So make sure your feet aren't out super wide. Just have your feet forward, lean back into the hands. Inhale, open the heart, lift the hips. Exhale, lower down. Walk your feet out 1 inch. Some of you may know where this is going. Others may think, I know where this is going and I'm not doing that. So if you want to keep your feet where they're at, keep them where they're at. Otherwise, walk out 1 inch. Inhale, lift the hips. Lower back down. Walk out 1 inch. Now your toes may lift up and that's fine. Inhale, lift. And lower down. Walk those heels out or feet out 1 inch. Inhale, lift. And lower down. Now, your knees might still be bent. Go for the extension, reverse plank, or reverse table, or somewhere in between. You decide. Here we go. Lift up and hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly lower down. Shake those hands out. Imagine you're flicking water off those fingertips. If you need a moment, stretch the wrists. However that looks for you. And I want you to grab your blocks and bring them outside your hips. Now, if you're not sure what the pose is, Akahasa Bhujasana. It is this one leg over arm pose, elephant trunk. Think of this as the elephant's ear, and here's his trunk as you lift up. And if you're thinking, yeah, no, my body doesn't do that, let it go. What can it do? So grab the blocks, take them outside your hips. Knees are bent, just like we did before. Push and lower. All I want you to do is lift your bottom off the mat. Lift and lower. Now, straighten one leg. Lift and lower. The next one, lift this foot off the ground. Keep your heel on the mat. Lift and lower. One more time. Lift and lower. Now change legs. Both feet are on, making contact with the mat. Here we go. Lift and lower. This time lift the leg. Here we go. Up and down. One more time. Up and down. So take a pause, shake it out, see where the body takes you. Move your blocks off to the side, and now let's work the hip. Yes, we can have this push to lift, right? And we can do that all day long. But if we don't have the flexibility to get this knee behind the shoulder, then we're going to be compromising and creating a lot of strain in the upper body. Even if your knee goes over your elbow, you still have to be able to pull that knee back. So take your left leg and hold the right hand on the arch of the left leg and the knee of the left. And just rock and roll. Different ways to open up the hips. Some of our movements today were meant to loosen the hamstrings, open the hips to get us ready for this pose. And then we hold here and draw the knee back. But I'm not turning to open my hip to face you. My hips are still aiming to the narrow edge of my mat. I'm just trying to open the knee. So either hold here or now reach for the sole of your foot. Now those of you that are here, hold the left foot with your left hand. Take your fingertips to the mat. Pull the belly button in as you lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Take a release, lean back, give a little wiggle. Now our hand was forward for that one. Normally our hands are going to be here, but just to give that feeling of how that quad is going to react when we lift. All right, take a hold of the right leg. Left hand to arch, right hand behind knees, rock and roll. And this may be as far as you go. Don't ever feel like you have to keep progressing to the next level if the body is not ready for it yet. If you can't sit here tall and you're down here, all this pressure is going into the back. So maybe you need more time and your leg is lower, and then over time your leg gets higher. So we have different variations even within this stretch alone. Now some of you will hold the knee back. Again, notice I'm not turning my hips. I'm keeping my hips square. Now stay here and hold or allow the right hand to come. And see about getting that knee, for some of you, behind your shoulder. And then you'll hold the right hand to the arch. Your left hand will come to the earth. Pull the belly button in. Last month I was calling this the Pillsbury move. So feel like you're the Pillsbury Doughboy. Poke the belly, pull in, and lift and lower. Lift and lower. 3, 2, 1. And can you do the leg lift while the knee still stays back, or are you starting to drop? So release, lean back, and let it go. For our stretch today, one of our stretches, we're going to take a wide leg straddle, which is in supine, laying back. So if you need your belt, just pull your belt close by. But what I want you to do first is go ahead and grab your block. I want you to open the chest a little bit. We did a lot of movements here. Just a little more opening. Last week I had you take the block to your sacrum. This week I want you to take it across the base of your shoulder blades. And that's this way. This long, narrow side is going to come here, and you may need your other block for behind your head. But bend your knees. So think of doing 8-point press in reverse, right? So we're going to arch our back, send the base of our shoulder blades. You may have to walk your feet in. Notice this big space I'm creating, so we're not sinking down, we're arching. And then for some of us, we may need the block for the back of the head, and we're going to come here. And others, we're not. We're going to just let our arms stretch overhead. But keep arching your thoracic, keep aiming your tailbone, your lumbar spine, and can you stretch the arms straight? If this bothers your neck, support it with the block. We have 2 levels, or 3, horizontal, vertical, or flat. What do you need here? If you don't have blocks, the alternative is to just lay back and arch your back, right? Can you see that space? And you can still stretch the arms overhead. So either way it can be done with or without blocks, then let's release. If you're on the block, lift your head and neck, move yourself onto your forearms to rise up, take the block out from underneath the body, move the block from where your head was, and go ahead and lay back. Grab that belt if you need it. If you're using the belt for supine straddle, you're going to take it to the balls of the feet, and you're going to open your legs as wide as they'll go. For those of you that don't have a belt or you're not going to use it, you can bend your knees, hold at your hamstrings, or hold at your ankles or calves. And whether you straighten the legs or not, I want you to push through the heels, and pull your toes down towards the floor. 2 more deep breaths. As you bend the knees in, you're going to let them drop in and draw the knees over the hips. Take this supine cow face legs. Take your left thigh and cross it over the right. If this does not work for you, you can always bring your leg down and cross the ankle at the thigh, or even bring it into this reclining pigeon. Otherwise, cross the thighs, just like we did in eagle pose, right? Let the heels drop. Now, some of you will be able to reach for the arches of the feet without having to curl up. If you're curling up, you need to come back to the mat. Others, maybe your hands go to your shins or you hold at your hamstrings. Wherever you're at, either your heels are low or your heels are going to lift. Whatever feels best for you. Two more breaths here. As you release the right leg, take your left hand onto your foot, but you're going to hover your right heel and open it out to the side in this half happy baby. Now, you don't have to hold the left leg with your right hand. You can even hold at the ankle, the calf, or the hamstring if that's what you need. But knee is outside rib cage. Right foot is floating if it's not flat on the floor. This will help keep our low back from straining so much in this stretch. All right, bring the knees back over the hips. Now your right thigh is going to cross over your left. Let your heels drop heavy. We feel different sensations on each side, so find what works for you and take yourself into that pose. Maybe your heels are lifted. Maybe you're pulling your knees to your chest or you're pulling them away, whatever feels right. But if you are holding onto your feet, try not to let them sickle in. That'll put some pressure into the outer ankle. So try to flex the feet so your ankles feel supported the whole time. Now release the left leg either down to the mat, setting up for half happy baby, or into a hover. And then start to open that right knee outside your chest and ribs. Holding on to the foot if you'd like, going to the ankle, the calf, or even the hamstring. Remember, some of you have a figure 4. Those of you that want to take full happy baby, here's your opportunity to bring that left leg in. If you like to rock in your happy baby, whatever feels best for you. Play around with arching your back, rounding, arching, rounding. So there's different variations and even the hold. Let's release and bring our knees over hips. I want you to take your right arm out to the side. Take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh and spinal twist. Bring the legs across to the left. Keep your right shoulder down on the mat with the option of turning and looking to that right hand. Inhale, bring the legs back up to the center. Take the left arm up, right hand to the outside of that thigh. Remember, left shoulder stays down. Roll it over to the right. And if your blocks are in the way, either use them underneath your knee or move them out of the way. And if you want, turn and look to that left hand. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, nice big hug of these legs into the body. Slowly release your feet. And then slowly extend your legs if that's what feels comfortable for you. And release your arms. Make sure there's space between your arms and your side body. You can breathe through the nose. But I want you to imagine there's a ball of light at the bottom of your tailbone. And whatever color you want that light to be, stay connected to that color and the ball of light. And I want you to inhale that ball of light all the way up to the top of your head and take a count on how long it takes you to get to the top of your head. And then take a pause, and when you exhale, use the same count to get that ball back down to your tailbone. So equal breath in, equal breath out. Take a pause at the top of the breath and take a pause at the bottom of the breath. So at the top of the inhale, you'll pause, and at the bottom of the exhale, you'll pause. So there's a definite start and stop to this breath. So what color is your ball? If you haven't already started, start your inhale and move that ball up your spine to the top of your head. And then move that ball back down to your tailbone. Inhale, feel this ball sending light and energy to all parts of the body as you send it to the top of your head. And when you exhale, feel that ball melting any tension or stress out of the body as it heads back down to your tailbone. And think of it shining all the way to your toes. Inhale. When you exhale, I want you to push the stale air out of the bottom of your lungs. Purge that old, empty, yucky air and then bring it all back in. I want you to take one more breath with this ball of light traveling up the spine and back down. Find yourself relaxing, letting go. Feel the breath. Feel the chest rising and falling as you melt into the earth. Gently bring movement to the body. Unless you want to stay here, you can stay here as long as you'd like. Otherwise, let's bring movement into the body. Then when you're ready, inhale, stretch long through fingers and toes. Exhale, hug those shins to the body and give a little massage across your back. If you are more comfortable rocking up, go ahead and rock up. Otherwise, roll to one side and take a pause. Then press into those hands to rise up into that easy seated pose, coming to sit up nice and tall. Let's go ahead and bring the hands to the heart. We're working on the sound of Om. It's known to be one of the first sounds of man, an ancient sound. So feel free to take a nice big inhale. Om. Thank you for joining me today. From my heart to yours, namaste. Have a wonderful day and a great start to your week, and I'll see you on the mat again. Have a great day.